2-0. 2-0. It's the most dangerous score in football. And unfortunately, it was Mexico's turn to once again remind us of that. Andres de AA Sports. The Mexico women's national team tied 2-2 against Uruguay after initially having a 2-0 lead in the game. And while this is the first of a two-game series against Uruguay this international break for the women's team, this is definitely a disappointing result given Mexico played like the better team for most of the game, only to essentially shoot themselves in the foot by committing unnecessary fouls, which resulted in the 2 goals which came on free kicks. Not a good look for this team, conceding costly free kicks to a team that created almost nothing offensively outside of that. Final score, 2-2. Mexico ties Uruguay in their first of 2 games. Or you can say it the other way around. Uruguay tied Mexico in their first of 2 games. With that, here are Mexico's grades for this game. Goalkeeper, B. Celeste Espino was the starting goalkeeper for Mexico. She ended up conceding the 2 goals off free kicks. The first goal, you can say, was a bit of a late reaction from her, but at the same time, I feel you can't really be entirely mad at Espino or blame her for that goal conceded. It was an incredible shot from distance by Stephanie Lacoste. We rarely see such good shots from that far of a distance like that. The second goal was definitely a weak goal to concede. You can absolutely blame her for that second goal. She was able to get a hand on it and should have saved it, but was unable to. So that second goal does bring her grade down. But outside of that, Espino had a pretty good game in my opinion, making one really good save on one free kick shot at one point in the second half as well. And being able to come out from the net when needed. So I think a B grade is fair here. Center backs, C-. Aaliyah Farmer made her national team debut and had a solid game up until she committed that costly foul, which led to the second goal for Uruguay. Farmer had a shaky start to the game, looking a bit nervous in her first minutes. Again, this was her national team debut. However, once she got settled into the game, she looked and played better. However, in the final 20 minutes, she did commit that foul, which set up that second goal. A rookie mistake, no doubt. That foul was definitely unnecessary and costly, and one of those moments where Mexico shot themselves in the foot. It was a bummer because she was doing fine outside of that moment. While she had good moments in her debut, that was the moment where she did show her lack of experience, something that will take time and some repetition to learn and grow from. However, she was better than her defensive partner, Mejia. Anya Mejia was the starting center back alongside Aaliyah Farmer, and she was probably one of the 2 worst players on the field for Mexico in this game. She committed another hard and unnecessary foul early in the first half, very early in the game, which she got a yellow card for. Definitely a worrying thing to see if you're a Mexico fan, as early unnecessary fouls and an undisciplined style of play by Anya Mejia was why Mexico lost the Pinatar Cup against to Canada, and she essentially lost the tournament for the team by getting herself sent off in that game versus Canada. Definitely not a good look for Mejia there. And Mejia's play in the first half was identical to that game against Canada. And then in the second half, aware of the fact that she already wasn't looking great with that yellow card, she tried to play smarter, but it just ended up being Mejia just going through the motions without making much of a positive impact. In her handful of games so far, Mejia has not shown she is good enough, nor has the self-discipline to be on the women's national team. She should not play in the second game, and she should not be called up anymore in the future. Midfielders, B. Carla Nieto, Rebecca Bernal, and Charlene Corral were the starting midfielders in the game. They played very well for the first 60 minutes of the game and contributed to Mexico completely dominating ball possession, with Mexico having 67% of the ball possession in this game. Corral also had that assist on the second goal for Mexico. Lourdes Bosch also made her national team debut, which was a good thing to see. Coming on as a substitute in the final 10 minutes, she looked fast and skilled in her ball control. She should have probably been subbed on earlier. The midfield for the majority of the game played well, but they had a pretty rough final 30 minutes where they struggled to hold on to the ball and commit more fouls. They looked slower in the second half and didn't keep up the offensive momentum they had after the second goal, which was a mistake. Offensive front, B+. Both goals came from the wingers on the right and left sides, which was really good to see. Mayra Delgadillo scored a great header off a good cross into the center of the box area to make it 1-0 in the first half. However, it was Yasmin Cáceres who was easily the best player of the game, providing that great assist to Delgadillo for the first goal in the 20th minute. She then went on to score the second goal of the game in the second half. However, while wingers Cáceres and Delgadillo played well, the striker position once again looked very inconsistent, with neither Birkenrode or Ordóñez having good performances in the 9 position. Christina Birkenrode was the starting striker, and in her 71 minutes of play, she went through the motions and did not contribute any goals, assists, or shots taken in the game. As for Diana Ordóñez, in her 19 minutes of play when she came on as a substitute, she went through the motions, only contributing 1 shot taken and then committing a rough foul that she didn't need to and getting a yellow card. The striker position is the most inconsistent part of the team and is therefore also the weakest position right now. And right now, Ordóñez does not look like a player that could change that. Head coach, B-. Pedro Lopez's team was in control for most of this game. However, he let them get complacent in the second half instead of having his team keep the offensive momentum going to get a third goal. Instead, they tried to slow the game down. This plan did not end well as it gave Uruguay time to regroup and wake up in this game. I also did not like the striker change in the second half, bringing in Ordóñez in the final 20 minutes. As you could see, there was a lack of communication among the offensive players, and it ruined their good play and momentum that they did have for most of the game. Starting Anya Mejia was another risk he took that I don't think he should take again. However, I do like that he was not afraid to give 2 of the 3 new players a chance and minutes of play in this game, with Alia Farmer starting and Bosch coming in as a substitute. I think he should have probably put in Bosch earlier in the second half, as her speed could have definitely helped in the final 30 minutes. Look to see if he will do the same for Ella Sanchez and give an opportunity in the second game, and give her an opportunity in the second game on Tuesday. With that, final score, 2-2. And for an overall grade, I will give them a C+. It was a draw result, a tie, which is of course better than losing the game. But given Mexico had 67% of the ball possession in this game, and that Uruguay produced nothing offensively outside of the few free kick opportunities they had, this game should definitely feel like a loss. It does feel like a loss. They had a 2-0 lead. For most of this game, Mexico looked and played like the better team, but they did not get the final result of a better team. A tough lesson learned. 2-0 is the most dangerous score in football. We'll see if they can get that final result of a better team that they failed to get in Puebla and win on Tuesday. Andres from AA Sports, leave your opinions on the game in the comments. Don't forget to also leave a like and subscribe. The women's team for Mexico will play on Tuesday, and then the next day, Mexico's final roster for the Copa Oro is expected to be announced, so lots more to come on Mexican football. With that, thanks for watching, and as always, Vamos Mexico.